If you are on any form of social media, you will know that the lead singer of Linkin Park recently passed away due to suicide. Now, alongside all suicides associated with famous people, come all the tweets about suicide hotlines, about mental health, and so on and so on. And a lot of people who normally don't speak up about mental health begin to speak up about it because someone who is very important to the public eye has committed suicide. The reason I want to talk about this is because for someone who has struggled with mental health issues for quite a long time, I am always talking about mental health. You will know this from my channel, you will know this if you follow me on Twitter, you will know this if you know me in person. I am always speaking about the difficulties with mental health and the difficulties that people go through. So when something like this happens, and loads of people are talking about mental health who usually don't, the people who always are tend to speak up. So I am doing that. There have been a lot of people who are famous in the past who have also committed suicide. For example, Robbie Williams. Loads of people absolutely adored him and nobody knew that he was depressed. Obviously, to a certain extent, it was the same for Chester, who, if you didn't know, is the lead singer of Linkin Park, who this video was inspired by. I mean, because he was in a rock band, a lot of people could kind of tell that there was something going on, but nobody knew that he was on the brink of committing suicide. The reason I want to make this video is because I want to raise more awareness of mental health issues, and not just any general mental health, every single mental health issue across the world. You know, ones we don't even know about yet, the ones I don't even know exist yet, because so many people are struggling and not enough people are speaking up about it. There was a tweet I saw earlier, or it might have been someone on Snapchat from a friend, I can't exactly remember, but it was saying, we need more than everyone just tweeting out the suicide hotline when someone commits suicide, because mental health is constant. You know, people are always struggling with mental illnesses. It's not just all of a sudden when someone commits suicide that everyone is suddenly depressed, because that's not how it works. And you need to raise awareness of the people who are constantly struggling, because sometimes they won't speak out, or sometimes they can't get the help that they want. Patty Waters tweeted the other day that there is always help, and I agree with Patty completely, but I also replied to this tweet because to a certain extent some people can't get help. This may be that some people don't want to speak out because they're too scared, because of the stigma around mental health, about people being attention seekers and people not actually being depressed. You know, the amount of times I've walked around school and a few of my friends or random people have made jokes about committing suicide or about self-harm, and they don't realise that some of the people around them have struggled with that or currently are struggling around that. You know, they're making a joke out of it and people need to think before they speak. That's my original point. In reply to Patty's comment, I said, obviously, there is always help, but some people don't have access to this help. It may be that they aren't considered a youth, so they will have to pay for this treatment and they may not have the money to pay for it. It may be that they need to get medication and they don't have the money for the medication, or the medication that they have is extremely rare because the mental illness that they have is rare or uncommonly spoken about, or it may be that they're just not considered mentally ill enough. I don't tend to share all the details about my mental illnesses on my YouTube and on my Twitter and so often, but I'm going to in this moment because it relates to this video. Quite recently, I reached out, I went to the doctors and said, I need help, I've been struggling for 5 years, and you know, I finally plucked up the confidence, thanks to my teachers, to actually come to the doctors and speak out. And then I was referred to CAMS, which, if you don't know, is an organisation in my local area, which is for children and people who are considered youth, and it provides counselling and risk assessments and all of that stuff so that people can get the support they need with their mental illnesses. I was referred, and I was referred under urgent because I'd come and it had been a long time since I had, started feeling this way. I waited a while before I came to the doctors, and my referral was denied. My doctors didn't believe that was fair, so they sent another referral, and it has been about a month and CAM still haven't replied. Now, the reason for this is because I don't suit their criteria, because with the NHS funding and the government funding and everything like that, CAMS just doesn't have the facilities or the staff to be able to treat people who are considered minor in their mental illness. So their criteria is so high that some people who are really desperately struggling can't get the help because there are people who need it more. And obviously, yes, prioritise the people who need it more, but think about the people who might not need it as much as someone else, but still desperately need it. To a certain extent, I believe that if someone is reaching out for help and they think they need help, give them help. And if it turns out that it's easily curable, you can just give them some medicine for something, then do that, but just give them some help. The reason for this video, I've said it plenty of times, but I'm going to keep saying it because it links to every single aspect of this video, is that mental health is constant. People are constantly struggling with mental illnesses, whether they speak up about it or not. You don't know what someone is going through. I said this before in a previous video, and I don't actually know if it's still on my channel, but saying about how beautiful it is to walk into a train station, for example Waterloo, and see loads of people, and all these people have different stories, have gone through different struggles, and a large amount of those people will have mental illnesses and will be struggling. You know, everyone is going through something. Just because someone is a stranger and you don't know them doesn't mean they aren't struggling. So think before you speak. Definitely don't make jokes because you don't know what the people around you are going through. Also, constantly raise awareness of mental illnesses. Constantly raise awareness of different ways you can help, different charities, all of this stuff, because just sharing the suicide hotline is not going to help, because not everyone can call it, not everyone wants to call it, and some people might not see your tweet and they might need it desperately at that point. I just wanted to make this video to especially say that just because a celebrity has committed suicide does not suddenly mean that mental illness exists. There are so many people who have committed suicide and people haven't noticed because people don't take into consideration how important mental illness is. Mental illness is as important as physical illness. You may not think it. You may think if someone has a broken leg, they need crutches. But if someone is extremely depressed and does not want to get out of their bed, does not want to get ready, does not want to shower, does not want to leave the house, that is as important and as much as an excuse as someone with a broken leg who is on crutches. Thank you for watching this video. Please share it around, and please put your comments below or message me on Twitter. My social medias are down below with your views or anything that you want to add to this video that you want other people to see. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys at some point. Just wanted to say, I am going to Summer in the City. I don't know if I'll make another video before this. I know I have one planned, but I am going to Summer in the City. So if you want to message me on Twitter, if you want to come see me, then do that. I will happily say hi to anyone, and I like hugs, so please just give me all the hugs. And yeah, that is all for this video. So bye guys, and I'll see you soon.